Hi everyone, I'm Sakshi Tiwari and I welcome you to yet another lesson on Train the Teacher. Well, today we're talking about something that touches all of us, that impacts all of us, that is debate. See, whether it's convincing your friends, sharing ideas at work, or even everyday conversations, debating well can open so many doors for us, right? And when it comes to debating with power and confidence, one name stands out in India. Yes, that's Arnab Goswami, who is known for his fearless style and sharp questioning. Arnab has mastered how to own that stage and how to own that control in any conversation. In this session, in this video, I'll share how you can learn from his techniques and dominate debates like him, no matter where you are or what you're debating about, right? So let's get into the lesson. See, the first thing is the power of presence and energy. Now, Arnab doesn't enter a debate. He actually commands the room. His energy is electric and his body language speaks volumes even before he opens his mouth. How does it happen? How does he do that? How does he convey that? See, first thing is his posture. He sits straight or leans slightly forward, signaling engagement and readiness, right? His eyes, his gaze is unwavering, it's direct and confrontational, all right, which creates an unspoken pressure on his opponents already, right? If you talk about his hands, he uses broad, sweeping gestures to punctuate points like a conductor guiding an orchestra of opinions, all right? So it's that communication, that non-verbal communication that gets communicated to the opponents to maintain that or to build that pressure in the beginning itself. Arnab's energy isn't random. All right, it's deliberate attempt. All right, he radiates that sense of a leader who is both the questioner and the judge, which sets the tone for everyone else around. Just like this one.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we've had this unexpected announcement of a ceasefire this evening. But there are a lot of facts which we have about what happened and what led to the ceasefire, which I want to share with you over the next couple of hours. But first, let me give you my frank view about Donald Trump's announcement. I think it's inappropriate, unnecessary, and as usual, Donald Trump has tried to give the impression that he's the peacemaker here. Donald Trump must know that he's not the peacemaker. And if he's worked a little bit of the back channel, then in typical Donald Trump style, to try and appear to be the global peacemaker on Truth Social is an easy tactic for him, but not something that has true substance.
Great. So I hope you understand that how it is done, how Arnab does it. Now, how you can adapt is you must practice sitting up straight with shoulders back, no slouching. All right, lean in slightly when making points, which shows engagement. Maintain strong, direct eye contact, or at least towards the camera or the audience if it's online. Use your hands purposefully, okay, purposely. Avoid fidgeting or weak gestures. These are weak gestures. Let's say I'm playing with my watch, or I'm looking on the floor or on the ceiling. Now these signals are the weak signals, all right? Also, before the debate, take a few deep breaths and center your energy. Enter as though you're about to lead. All right. Now, the second trick is mastery over the flow of conversation. Now, this is extremely important. In Arnab's debate, there is no free-for-all. Now, what I mean by this is that he himself shapes the debate like a sculptor, right? How we spot that? First is immediate framing. He starts by framing the narrative with a forceful opening question, which gives us, which gives the audience an extremely clear sense of what's at stake. Okay. The second one being that relentless pacing. Now, if the conversation drifts, he pulls it back with a sharp pivot. All right. Something like, oh, we're not here to discuss that. You would find him, speaking such statements or dropping such statements pretty often. He would say, all right, let's come back to the real issue at hand. Okay, so statements like these are there to gain that command back. Yes, he also does that pinpoint focus, which means he corners the speakers to answer his questions only, to answer his questions directly, refusing to let them, beat around the bush. All right. So this makes him appear not just as a participant, but also the ultimate moderator and the controller of the entire debate. As I said, he's the speaker and he's the judge himself, right? How he does it? Let's have a look here.
The border issue. Until those things are finalized,
you should not link the two. I'm quite surprised, actually, Brahma, that there seems to be an obvious attempt to link the two. How is the border issue linked to the water issue?
Two different issues.
No, but then why are you even mentioning the border issue in the context of this discussion? These are questions that are relevant. I'm not asking whether Virat Kohli will eventually settle or plans to settle in the United Kingdom, as has been reported. That's none of my business. Maybe he does want to be in the United Kingdom. That's none of my business. But what is my business is asking him why he doesn't have the guts, why Virat Kohli does not have the guts to ask his owners, RCB, to own up. Or is that part of Virat Kohli's contract? A nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Both Virat Kohli undoubtedly knew, and his owners, RCB, knew that people had died and they continued to celebrate.
Yes, I hope you noticed that. Now, how you can adapt is by, preparing short, firm phrases to regain control if others try to drift. All right. Second being, practice pivoting mid-sentences. Like, interesting, but let's focus on this. All right. So maybe, you can practice such sentences and phrases often so that when you see that the debate is going maybe off track or it's not what you visualized it to be like, you can use such sentences. All right. The third one being summarize arguments in your own words. Now, this lets you reframe them in your, in your favor. And it's a very clever technique, right? So this was the second one. The third one is strategic voice control. Now, Arnab's voice is a masterclass in modulation. Modulation. This is modulation. Lower tones for authority. Now, he drops his voice to a steady, calm register when making serious points. Now, this draws the audience in thinking that, okay, now this is something grave. This is something concerning. All right. So this is one thing. Second is that sudden surge. I'm sure you must have noticed that. When does he bring that? He brings that sudden surge for impact. He raises his volume at key moments, like a thunderclap to break that rhythm and jolt the listener awake. Yes. The third thing being that speed variations. So you might, notice him, you might find him that he speeds up when he wants to overwhelm the opponent, and he does slow down dramatically to let a point sink in, both to the opponents and to the viewers. Yes, so his voice is not just a tool, it's a weapon perfectly calibrated to dominate. Let's have a look here.
48 years, ladies and gentlemen, of a man's life. At the age of 104, he is released. His wife is no more. He cannot recognize his family. His Aadhaar card says he was born in 1921. And the bigger question is, he was 26-year-old when India became independent. He was 30-year-old. Or rather, should I say 36 years old when he was 56 years old, ladies and gentlemen, forgive me, when he was arrested, and he's released from jail at the age of 104. And the system now, it's a judgment, Nalin Kohli, of a court. If a citizen says, no, I lost my children, it is not 60 crore or 600 crore. I lost my children. I want justice. We don't want blood money system in this country.
No, Arnab, this money.
We don't want blood money system in this country. She doesn't want 60 crores.
No, but that's given to Delhi government for building a trauma center, which
that's all cosmetic. It's false. It's wrong. The problem is, Neelam Krishnamurthy, journalists in this country don't speak up because, they'll be filed for contempt. Don't speak. So only an Arnab Goswami will come and talk about these cases, knowing fully well what I risk, but I will speak about.
Right? So I hope you're pretty convinced that how beautifully, how dominatingly he uses his voice modulation to, to ensure that he is the king. He's there. You can't mess with him. Right? Now, how you can adapt is practice reading aloud to find your baseline voice. It should neither be too shrill nor too soft, all right? Again, also not too loud. Yes. Second, my favorite one, I suggested this one all the time to everybody for everything, which is record yourself. See how you can, vary pitch and volume for emphasis. The third one being use pauses. Pauses make your points land properly, and it also shows that you're in control. It also lets the audience and the opponents absorb what is being communicated and said, right? And practice modulating. Softer when you're calm, and more forceful, more, assertive when you're driving home a point, right? So this was the third technique. Now, the fourth one is artful interruptions and rebuttals. Arnab's interruptions are surgical. When I say surgical, I mean that he doesn't just shout over people. He cuts in at precisely the moment their argument is peaking, which blunts its impact. Now, he uses polite phrases for disruption. Polite phrases like, 1 second, let me interject. Hold on. Let's not mislead the viewers. So these are the statements that he uses. Now, if you want to discredit and, redirect the conversation or the whole discussion that's been happening, he immediately reframes, or he would immediately dismiss their points, by taking that rhetorical jibes. For example, this is not a courtroom drama. That's not the point I'm trying to make. Listen to me carefully, etc. Let me repeat that once more for you. Okay, now this calculated disruption forces his opponents onto the defensive, which shifts the momentum back in his favor, right? Let's have a look here.
First, before trusting anybody.
So I'm asking, Anand, I'm asking therefore, everyone on, I'm asking therefore, just sorry to interrupt, I'm asking whether it is in America's interest to support terrorist groups in Pakistan which have carried out 9/11. And they are supporting it right now by supporting the same establishments who are sponsoring the terrorist groups. The people of America should be forewarned that if your government is taking your money to support terrorist groups in Pakistan indirectly through the Pakistani establishment, then will the Republicans vote for Donald Trump if they know that he's indirectly supporting the same terrorist groups in Pakistan that carried out 9/11? It may sound terrible for you to hear, but that's the reality.
Now, I'm sorry to say you are paranoid.
I am not paranoid, sir. You should be paranoid. 9/11 happened on your soil and 26/11 happened on my soil. I'm sorry. If the Americans have forgotten 9/11, then you should tell them to be paranoid.
Yes, I hope you understand now how you can build this in yourself. Do not interrupt constantly. You have to understand this. Pick moments when the opponent is about to make a strong point. Pick that moment, all right? Secondly, use polite but firm phrases to cut in. Remember the word that I used? Surgical, right? For example, may I just clarify that point? All right. Before you continue, let me just add. Okay, and you have to ensure that you deliver it firmly, right? It should not be disrespectful. It should be polite, but firm in the way you are communicating, all right? And you can practice doing this in mock debates so that it feels natural and not forceful or made up. Now comes the fifth technique, which is mastery of data and evidence. Now, Arnab's style is data-driven, but he wields facts like arrows in a quiver. Yes, arrows in a quiver. Now, what he does is he's always prepared with statistics. Now, he quotes data or studies with precision, almost always citing sources to add weight. All right. It's one of the wonderful qualities of a debater, of a speaker, to quote data, to quote facts, right? Second thing being, he's very selective in what to highlight. Now, he focuses on data that actually bolsters his argument, ignoring, tangents or contrary data. Okay. The third thing being simplification. He breaks down that complex stats into sharp, memorable statements that the audience can easily digest. All right. Now, this turns down the debate into a battle of facts where he always appears the most informed and credible. Right. Let's have a look here.
You have abused the Home Minister and the Prime Minister enough. Straight question to you. If the Prime Minister didn't want it, would there have been this kind of an election in Jammu and Kashmir? Would there have been 65% voting if the Home Minister of India did not want the democratic process to be successful? You know China's designs, and this man is working against India's interest by saying, I will take a march to the LAC. He has spoken against the army, Raman Malik and Karan. He has spoken against the Indian Armed Forces. He has spoken against Hindu gods.
I hope we understand. Yes. Now, what you must build in yourself to be a great debater, research the topic thoroughly. Now, know as many key stats and quote as you can, so that it supports your stance. All right. You can practice simplifying complex data. So you must want to turn those long reports into short and punchy facts, right? Also, if possible, memorize 2 to 3 key data points that you can deploy at any time during that debate, right? I hope we understand. Now comes the 6th technique, which is emotional and moral framing. See, beyond facts, Arnab knows the power of moral weight. What I mean by this is that he positions himself as the voice of public, okay, as the voice of public conscience. So you might spot him using phrases like "the nation wants to know," right, which is also a very famous content piece. The nation wants to know. This is not about you or me. It's about what's right. So you might want to, you might find him using such moral statements pretty often, right? He channels his controlled outrage. He always, you would never find him losing control. And even if he does, you would find his pitch going higher. That's always controlled, right? It shows just enough emotional investment to resonate with the audience's, anger or aggression or feeling, right? So this gives him an aura of moral authority, making it risky for anyone to challenge his position without actually appearing insensitive. Let's have a look here.
For your question, let me remind you, Akshay. Let me 1 minute. He said something to me. After that, you can come in, Sanju. Let me give him a fitting and clear and unequivocal reply that he shall remember for some time now. First of all, I have only said the nation wants to know, right?
And
when Bennett Coleman and company told me that we have a trademark on the nation wants to know, allow me to complete.
Express my condolences.
These are fake condolences, sir. We don't buy them. These are fake condolences. We don't buy them.
No, you don't buy, but we will give it to the people of our...
People will reject it, sir. The people will reject it, Mr. Gowda.
Yeah. No, you don't buy it. I don't mind, and I don't care also. But as you don't care about us, I will not care about you also.
No, it's not like I don't care about you. I care for the people, Mr. Gowda. 1 minute, Mr. Gowda. Mr. Gowda, 11 people died. Why was the celebration going on? Why was the celebration going on after the people died? Answer me.
Yes, I hope you're convinced. I hope you were able to spot it. Now, if you also wish to bring that element in your debate style, so please frame your argument as larger than just your opinion. For example, this isn't about me. It's about fairness. All right. Use moral language, use words like right, wrong, justice, responsibility. These words are, they fall into that moral language category. Show that you care about the issue. Don't be robotic. Yes. So this was the 6th one. Now comes the 7th one, which is psychological warfare and handling opponents. Arnab's opponents often falter not because of facts, but because of the psychological intensity that he ends up creating. See, his direct stare is there. All right. It makes others second guess their points. It makes others feel a little, withdrawn, or maybe, they're forced to take a step back and think that, okay, I'm going to speak this. Will it be convincing enough? Will it be correct enough? So that's the impact or the psychological trick that he plays there. All right. Also, when challenged, he often pauses. He leans back and responds with icy calmness. Now, this contrast amplifies the opponent's fluster, right? Also, he peppers his responses with sarcasm or humor to belittle weak arguments and keep the audience entertained. Now, this is a big strategy that, he uses. Let's have a look here.
Rahman, that a person who compares, I'm saying it directly, who compares the body parts of women to watermelons has the mindset of a rapist. That man has the mindset of a rapist. I am telling you, he should be arrested for a possible rapist. He is a potential rapist. That man cannot be allowed to be out on the streets. And if you people are supporting him, then you are in the same category. Bharat Mata ki! Vande! See, Rajiv Desai won't say it. Rajiv Desai won't say it. Did you see Rajiv Desai won't say it, Sanju?
Who the hell are you to question my patriotism, my nationalism?
Everyone on.
Behave yourself.
Well, I am questioning it.
Journalist.
I'm questioning it. Deal with it.
Don't be a propagandist.
Deal with it. Deal with it.
You sound silly.
Deal with it. You're sounding demented. Say Bharat Mata ki jai. Say Bharat Mata ki jai. Thank you for your question. Let me remind you, Akshay. Let me 1 minute. He said something to me. After that, you can come in, Sanju. Let me give him a fitting and clear and unequivocal reply that he shall remember for some time now. First of all, I have only said the nation wants to know.
Right? I hope you saw that. Now, if you also want to bring this element in your debate, you must want to, practice making calm, direct statements. If you're challenged, don't let them see you sweat, okay? So if someone tries to rattle you, take a breath and respond slowly. It's more powerful than shouting back. Also, you can use gentle humor, sarcasm or irony to lighten your side, but please ensure that you keep it professional. Yes, last one being the signature close. Arnab's closing remarks are always decisive, okay? He uses this echo effect. What is it? See, he revisits his main narrative in his final lines, which ensures that the audience's last impression is the one that he wants. All right. And the second one, of course, being that mic drop moment. So he ends with a short, punchy statement, like a verdict that leaves no room for doubt or further discussion or anything of that sort. Right? Let's have a look here.
We need to seriously see. All this reminds me, General Bakshi, of what you said.
Seriously, look south.
No, we need to really ramp up our national security, our intelligence, our counterintelligence, our available information, our national security infrastructure. I think we need to do a lot. We cannot take anything for granted there. This report on the burning ship mystery is only on Republic, ladies and gentlemen, on republicworld.com. On national security issues, we put our efforts forward. And we are totally sure that the government will give some kind of a clarification, hopefully by tomorrow. I'll end with visuals of the burning ship. This is the story of the day. Full frame, please. And this is the Wanhai 503, India's biggest mystery, this huge consignment of explosive material, ladies and gentlemen, which has caught fire. We don't know what the story or the real story behind that is. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. ये मैसेज है 1 मिनट समर इसने मान लिया प्रोग्राम पर ये मास्टर ऑफ सेरेमनीज था इसने ऑर्गेनाइज किया इस हामिद मीर ने ऑर्गेनाइज किया समर इसने मान लिया कि हम टारगेट कर रहे थे
These guys,
and ladies and gentlemen, that's a big admission on my program where you have Hamid there. Hamid has admitted that the statement of the Pakistani army was well planned and in conjunction with the Lashkar-e-Toiba and Saifullah Kasuri, that it was all part of a plan. There can be no greater admission than that. But the problem is we also have snakes within. We have people in our country who do politics at a time like this. I'm going to call them out when I'm back.
Right? I hope you understand now how you can adapt this in your style. You must prepare a short, punchy closing line that sums up your stance. Repeat your main message one last time, which is the echo effect, so that it sticks in people's minds, right? And end confidently, no wavering or that confusion. Even if you're nervous, don't let it go visible, right? So keep your head held high and just communicate and deliver what you should be delivering, right? So Arnab's debate dominance is a performance in itself. You would find all these 8 elements: power of presence and energy, mastery over the flow of conversation, strategic voice control, artful interruptions and rebuttals, mastery over data and evidence, emotional and moral framing, psychological warfare in handling opponents, and of course the signature close. Right now, if you want to adapt these elements in your style of debating, please ensure that you sit straight, maintain eye contact, and use clear gestures to show that you are the one who's in charge. All right, use phrases to guide and steer the discussion back if it strays. Play with tone, calm voice for serious points, and louder burst for impact. Yes, interrupt only at key moments with polite but firm and respectful phrases. Yes, have 2 to 3 key facts ready and simplify them for quick delivery. Show that you care. So, link your points to a broader moral values. Stay calm, lean in, and don't let opponents rattle you. And of course, end with a punchy phrase that echoes your main message, right? So I'm sure that you're confident of holding the debate. Thanks for watching this video. Remember, see, debate skills aren't just for experts. They're for anyone who wants to be heard, who wants to be understood and respected. By studying Arnab Goswami's style, you're learning how to speak with confidence and how to back your points with facts and connect emotionally with your audience. So start practicing these tips today. Own your voice and watch your confidence soar. I'm Sakshi Tiwari, and I'm confident that you're going to dominate your next debate if you practice and implement these, elements in your style. So keep learning, keep growing, and I wish you a very happy learning.